Yo, 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 what's up, JoJo? Dun, 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 dun. Gonna take a look at some of the devastation today. Was almost beautiful, but not really. What's up, Charles? Glad you caught it tonight. The massive reaming of the markets today. We're gonna start with Bitcoin. Man, it's been going in the direction like we kind of thought it was a few months ago, but it just took so long to finally start. The market is hung on by a hope and a prayer and a thread, and kept giving hope that we were. And I'm not really talking about crypto so much as the stock market and the indices. It just it's taken so long to play out and start getting downside. Finally, these little crap 5 and 10% is really nothing, but to get a nice downtrend built, it is fault and fault and fault not to go down where it needed to. It is just outperformed, but I think we're turning that corner to where scalp trades are really all you want to do, and then maybe buy and accumulate at lower prices. Things are just things today. Friday didn't help. They were closed. Today there was a lot of stuff confirmed on the markets that just wasn't beautiful at all. I mean, I've had this right here drawn for a minute. This is the daily. If you look at the NASDAQ, we were in this little downward sloping channel and we broke out, back tested, started to run, but all we can muster up was almost the same high at this chaotic congestion level and then started to dump. We've gapped down day after day after day. So just not having the reactions that we should. I mean, we come all the way back down here and test this line, but that's still going to put you down. By the time that happens, there's no reason. There's no reason for me to believe that we won't see 1,300 on the Nasdaq. There's no reason to believe that we can't get another couple 100 point days, and that pushes us down to this level. If we break 1,300 on the Nasdaq, the next stop, I'll put it on a line on here, is gonna be. There's no. We're going down to 12,000. There's nothing in its history to stop it from getting there. And with inflation and all the craziness going on, yeah, it's no doubt that that's a possibility. But we thought we had this resistance right here broken, consolidated on top of it. It was showing everything we needed, giving all the bullish signals while having divergence. It just couldn't hold up. Just couldn't hold up. With everything going on with war and inflation, all of that stuff is just stacking up to be too much. Everybody's moving their money into the bond yields and treasuries and stuff to there. That's where the yield's at, and that's where the money's being moved. So when we get days like today, we started a little red, then started to turn around. We had a couple big names that should have just crashed their ass off in the beginning start to take off. All they're really doing is creating liquidity to dump some more shares to get as much out of the market as possible. So we're going to have to start hanging back and seeing what the day brings a little later into the day before we start making trades, because pre-market is very misleading right now. So, that's that. And then the Dow Jones, if you look at all of them, they're all not doing much better. You got some classic distribution going on right here. The Dow Jones. The industrials never quite made the rip that some of the big tech stocks did. But man, I mean, we we can't really complain a whole lot. What we ran from 103% in about a year from the COVID low, 103% gain in a year, and that's overall. Some stuff was 200%, 300%, thousands of percent. You can't really complain. You kind of got to expect that we get some kind of relief to reset. And you see where we've done it before. We've done it before. We've ran from here. Let's check it out. Well, look. We ran from here. When was that? Yeah, that was a 16 dump. I mean, 73%. If we look at it gets awfully close to 100% gain when we dumped at the COVID crash. The market was overheated. And, I mean, everything's done that multiple times in its history. It's not uncommon. And I think these were it. So until the trend tells us differently, there's no need in fighting the trend. The trend is your friend till the end. So more than likely, we're probably going to see more downside in the markets. Tomorrow, no telling what it brings with the CPI report. I don't even want to guess. But be prepared. For going to sit and watch unless I just see something crazy. But I'm not seeing any of my typical trade setups that I want to see. Even they're still iffy. The downside trade setups that I want to see to short a bunch of stuff is still kind of looking a little too positive, but not bearish enough. A little more downside, then I think we can catch a couple big runs on some massive dips. There's too much bearish sentiment to fight, but even over here on the industrials, you're kind of at that. Yeah, you're kind of at that level, right? That's definitely where we're going to head next, right there. Down again. We break that level, we're going to be looking at 33,594, 33,258, and then it would just make sense. And that's for now. I wouldn't even freak out if we tried to retest like right there, that 30,000 level. So there's kind of your targets down. And I mean, and you got to look at it from a perspective of don't look at this, what I've said here, and be like, and tomorrow we're up 300 points because we're down over 400 today. What's going on in Montgomery? But everything takes time to play. It's all in perspective. You got to look at this is the daily time frame. Like I tell people all the time, just because you get a trade set up and it runs 40, 50% that day, minutes later, that wasn't intended. I'm not a foreseer of the future of time. I'm just identifying patterns that happened in the past, and we're looking for them and trying to find those patterns playing out again to give us an edge. I can't tell you when, if it's going to be tomorrow or the next day. What I see in the charts is indicating it's going that direction at whatever pace it wants to go. That's up to market participants. But when I say stuff's got to take time, we could have a nice update tomorrow. It can run up as high as 35 tomorrow and still be bearish and then dump right down the next day. So we were losing this negative momentum, about to go positive, and then we got this red candle come in today. That's not good. That's not good to start building again. You can go back and look in history and see when that's happened, it has not been the greatest. When you've started losing negative momentum and then start building again immediately, I mean, you're getting triple divergence, nothing, and you kept getting the sideways chop, and that's maybe where we're at right now. So we'll look at the S&P real quick. And we were showing that rounding bottom and then a rocket. Rounding bottom, rocket, rounding bottom, rocket, rounding bottom, rocket. What we hope to see, what we want to see, and what's always possible is, now this is the weekly. We started building negative momentum again. Do not like, you don't want to be jumping in going long on stuff right this second. But always, when we zoom out, this could turn into a third leg of a rounding bottom. We could get this down a couple more days, weeks even, and then start to build again. And in that case, shoulders in a month from now, 2 months from now, 6 months from now, we've got it consolidated. We break the neckline and we rip. That's always a possibility. Then again, it's always a possibility that, you just come down lower and make it out almost a double top and did it again. So it's just not the time to kind of commit to one direction or the other. You got to play in the swing so much. Let's try and catch that little daily swing. But this right here is everybody's problem. Bitcoin, crypto, as does. I've had this channel plotted on the daily for a long time. I was getting all excited when we broke out. Then when we got rejected from the heart, going to break down, we bounced right off that trend line ever so perfectly. I mean, look at that. I didn't move those lines. 1, 2 tests as support and a rip. The US dollar against every other currency in the world is really just showing way too much strength. Way too much strength. So when you start zooming out and you're looking at the grand scale of things, US dollar's just too strong. So where would you want your money? Do you want to put your money into cash right now while you've got the US dollar making a run for home plate right here? Or are we wanting to try and stick our money into some stocks, crypto, gold, whatever else they're trading out here that's really not producing a yield? And we've made this huge W pattern. Very easily can we run up here, hit it, get rejected. And we'll go out to the monthly. You'll see it's very possible that happens. We've already made our little W-shaped recovery, and we might end up being like a triple top and get rejected. Don't know. We'll have to see about that as it comes. But we broke a downtrend since 1985. That's not good for stocks. And obviously not crypto, who's become a tech stock lately. Bitcoin's just become a tech stock. That's all it is. So we broke out of that line right there, that downward sloping trend line. All bets are off now. We could rip. And with the way inflation's going, it's very possible. It's very possible. So we'll jump back over and take a look at Bitcoin. Shoot, we'll start on the monthly. Just to give you all an idea what's going on here. That little channel starting to look more like a bull flag. A bear flag, excuse me, after this downtrend. But so did this. If you look, so did this months ago. We were getting just that little consolidation. I expected to get a breakdown, and we didn't. We ripped. So we got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 green up, red. If we can hang in this channel, then maybe we get this consolidation period that everybody feels like it is area of value, and we get this huge candle again, and we make another leg up. Don't know. Gonna have to see about that. But if you go down to the weekly, a little more prominent, not quite as upsloping. It's we're starting to lose momentum this week on Bitcoin. And if it goes, everything else is go. I personally don't have any fear about it until we make a lower low, 32,898. I'm out. I'm getting out. I'll take what small profit I've got left in there at that point. I'm getting out, and I'm waiting for something to develop. But that's pretty much follows Bitcoin. What else do y'all want to talk about? What Twitter's coming back to earth. It was strictly run up on Elon hype. I don't care that we had a grid candle today. We're going to fill that gap, and we're going to get back to the means, the average. Yeah, I think we've got to come back down. We may make a higher low, and that's fine. That is fabulous. But, Twitter's got to come back down. That was too much hype. You get looked down at the 4 hour. You saw where you started losing it. Lower highs. Twitter's going to keep coming, especially if we have a devastating, just nasty day tomorrow. It'll come back down. And so you can still be in that play. I still want to be short Twitter. I still want to be short Facebook, I want to be long. I don't care. I mean, it's smashed. It's smashed. Sure, it can go down a couple more bucks. It's smashed, though. I want to be long Facebook. Trend. We're just still making lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. We couldn't even break this previous high here. We're just making another lower high and another lower low. Yeah, we're going to get a relief rally, and we're going to probably come in with some kind of divergence. But what does that do? Let's just say we run up and we hit this 50 moving average. We run up, hit it about 1634, and make another lower low, which would also coincide with that low right there. So we run up, we hit 1632, make another lower low, and then we head back down. Another lower high, another low. I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm still good on being short forward. I'm not positive on it at all. We're gonna see this 1458 and 1367 area. It's already just about tapped it, but 1367, that's where I want to exit. We're going back to there. Even though in the face of all the stuff going on in the world, look at Facebook or meta platforms, whatever the crap they want to call it, but Facebook is still just, it's got too much going for it, saying that it's burnt out. I mean, they done sold the crap out of it. And we're starting up to like 109 or 209, bounce this RSI, and then start to rip again. And we can see it's done it multiple times. I mean, we're still making a 1, 2, 3 higher lows. Still making higher lows. 1, 2, 3, still making higher highs. How can anybody say that we're in a long-term downtrend when we're still making higher highs, still making higher lows? You just can't fight that trend because we see how quickly we can recover every time on whatever news or whatever they throw out there. That's why there's not a whole lot of times that I want to go short when the macro is. And this right here, what zoomed out, would probably justify it a little better. When you zoom out, say you go to the 4 hour. Then you start zooming out, and you can zoom in and see it, but it still was so minute. Right there. There we go. Look at it. Gap down. Retraced about 50% of the way, but lower highs, lower lows. When you get this confirmation of lower highs, lower lows, that's when you can start taking short entries. Selling the rips and buying the range. That's when you need to be careful. And we haven't really seen it on too many items yet. It was structuring somewhat like a flag, but it broke down. So you kind of wanted to, if you could have got in here and maybe started shortening it down, but there was nothing to indicate that. And this right here didn't even. So it's really hard to catch that. You were starting to form some stuff, but it turned out to be an M shape, dip down. Well, that all happened so fast. Now you've got this almost rounded bottom. If we come up right here, make another higher low, then we've got that rounded bottom situation again. Little mini W, we ripped on it. It's just not the perfect setup, but the point is we have become so oversold. You can look at the daily, where we're still not in bullish territory yet. We keep getting rejected there on the RSI. Facebook's going to turn it around, and it'll be all right. All right, anybody got any questions? I just want to run through this today. Just kind of let everyone take a look and ask if they had any questions that I possibly could answer. But most of our stuff is just, you go out to the weekly and the daily. It's starting to give up the ghost. We're real close. I'm not convinced that we're in a downtrend yet, just because we had our lower low, now we've made a higher low, and it looks like we're trying to inflection right here, showing support, building a bottom, just now turning positive on the momentum. It's not when you want to be trying to short it. So it's more of a let's wait and see. TTOO stock. What is that, JoJo? Biosystems. The word bio makes me want to just say, don't buy it. There's a little tip for you. 2 ways to play bio anything. 1, don't buy it. 2, if you buy it, buy like $100 worth and never expect to see your money out of it ever again. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. The word bio, I think if you look it up in my dictionary, it translates to be fundraising. That's all it is. It's garbage. You get 1 in 100 of these little jokers bought by somebody or actually have a breakthrough that gets approved by FDA and does anything. And I've been through them. I have sat in them for years, did nothing, took my loss, got out of them, and literally 12 hours later watched something run from 36 cents to $75 a share overnight, market open, crash back to like $2. I've watched all that, and that's not what you want to play. That's not good investing. That's garbage. And that's what this is, JoJo. This is let's see, Biosystems secures additional 4.4 million funding for That's what they needed to do. If there was any kind of upward movement, it's because they needed to secure funding. Does any of this look healthy? Right here. I don't care. I don't trade on news. I trade on charts. Look at this. I can ask my daughter right now. Ask a kid to come here and take a look at it and be like, hey, which direction is this going? Down. It ran from 50 to 54. All right, this is the day. This is just the daily. This is not that big a time frame. It supposedly was at $25 at one point. So we're gonna zoom. We're getting close to earnings, and obviously they needed some more funding. So I guess you could have, if you zoomed in here, could have said, "Hey, there's one bottom, higher low, boom, candle." Here's my question, though, JoJo. I understand it did go 3 points. And, it depends on how your sinuses are acting. My thing is, we've got this on the daily, this big, massive engulfing candle, right? All that buy pressure from, let's look, 46.30 to 54. All that buy pressure. We barely went green on the momentum. Barely. So let's say that continues. You've got, if you're lucky, you run up and hit the moving average. I just hate biopharmaceuticals. They're all they are is funding for research. They don't have a product. If they have a product, it got bought out by Pfizer and the big pharma, and they've already popped and then were acquired by them. If they get something good or some approval, they get bought up and snatched up so quick. But see, big pharma lets them flounder and do this, and they're just not investable Unless, like I said, you throw $100 in it, forget about it, and hope it never happens. I mean, you're almost kind of double top there. The best hope is that it keeps rounding off and you start building positive momentum heavier going into earnings. But guess what happens when earning comes around? They're not selling a product. They're still in trials. They're still raising funding for this whatever blood test. They're probably going to report dismal and just piss poor earnings. And then we go right back down to garbage land. So I can't even recommend that. It looks like it's getting rejected. Yeah, look at there. It's getting rejected. I hate biofarms. Getting rejected right there. So awesome that you caught a lick on it, but I wouldn't tell people about it. I would definitely, I don't even want anybody that I'm advising or working with to know this stock exists. We're going to actually take that off our list right there so nobody accidentally sees it and thinks it's going to. People's got to, penny stocks, there's some decent ones out there, but they're few and far between. People's got to stop thinking that you can buy something for 30 cents and it's going to the moon. It's rare. It's a lotto ticket. I'm not saying don't, but don't try to invest in it. Just try to buy it and leave that ticket to the side. All right, what else? Anything else? I will go sit on my porch and finish getting hammered. I'm just trying to answer any questions I can for anybody who's got them. Whether you're a member of our Discord or not. Speaking of, was this Montgomery Earns here? If he's still around, somebody let him know we got a Discord if he's not already in it. Because most of y'all's names on here is a little different than our Discord names. Anything else from anybody? Let me try to think of something that I might could show you. Got some crazy cave drawings on Apple here with this falling broadening wedge. Broke out of it, but happened to also bounce. We got a little center trend line. This runs way back here through this. And I think the most disheartening part is yesterday and Friday, we had an opportunity to bounce off a moving average, and we didn't. We fell through it, and we're just catching a little, right here, we're catching a little bit of support. That area right there, you've got several times that we've used as support and resistance. If we get bad news tomorrow and that doesn't hold, I would suspect, and if you look where it plays out, it's kind of awesome. I love TA. I'll pop you a line. If we get bad news and a little more dumpage, where do you think we're going? If tomorrow doesn't turn around and break some of this bearishness in the charts, it just makes sense that we found this high as a resistance. Later used as support. Broke through it, but popped right back up. Used as support again. Support again. I would guess that Apple comes back down to at the lowest at 157 again. Maybe if we can do it quickly, we can start getting support for some higher levels like the maybe 162.50. That would put it right here at this little level. And I'll go ahead and pop that line too, just for that's a possibility. So there's no reason we can't drop another $7-8 before finding support, which would only make sense. And at that point, I'd have to look hard at buying Apple again, at least give it some time to see what it's going to do at this area. Yeah, now's a set and wait kind of time for Apple. It's with most of them. Here's another trash can. It's not even a biofarm. CEI, Camber Energy. It's just Nasty. It's so nasty. Look what it's done its whole life. You can't even see it on the chart. Find the weekly. How does that look? That is the life of this fake energy company. Yeah, Charles, I did. I looked at Facebook just a second ago. I can go back and look at it. I ain't doing nothing. Nobody's asking for anything anyway. So we'll talk about everything again. Yeah, I've had these two little downtrend lines on the weekly laid out if we started falling. But right there, we've already bounced off this like 1450. I think we get as low as 1362. But I'm long as we after today wasn't as bad as everything else. Facebook held up really well today. I mean, we're up 1.5%. Facebook held up better than most today. When you had some of the big names down 3 for AMD 3.5% down, IMPP 10%, Tesla down 4.5%. You gotta, in perspective, Facebook held up nice, but then again, it's already been beaten down, so it's still kind of strong. It's still looking good in my opinion. On the weekly, still looks good. We're showing support and trying to have a little action going on after it while losing negative momentum on the daily. I think your Facebook, my call on Facebook still stands. It's going. It held up. Facebook to have got devastated 26% in like a day is holding up oddly well in these turmoil times. It's almost like the sellers are exhausted, like they're done selling Facebook. The people that wanted to get out has, and then you're finding people that's thinking this is an area of value and that they want to enter this position. Because, I mean, look at where this Ford, god damn it. No, but there it is. But no, you've got people that's finding area of value at 185. So you can say it's awfully cheap. I mean, Facebook 384, dude. Shit, Charles. I mean, if it took you a year, if you bought here and it took a year to get back to all-time highs, that's a heck of a swing, bro. $180 swing in a year. That's pretty righteous right there. All right, Disney. I've read so much nasty stuff about Disney lately in the news, dude. It's been bad. I don't even know how much of it's true, but I do know that Disney has kind of disappointed me so far. Out here on the daily, this triple divergence we had just have done nothing so far. It's going to form. It's if we don't get any more sell-offs, we could get a slightly higher low. It's just we're still in that channel of just garbage right here. Got rejected off, I think this was the 886 line at one point. But I don't know about Disney. I just don't know. They go either way. I mean, we've lost all this negative momentum. But during losing all this negative momentum, we've still made lower lows, lower highs. It hasn't turned around. It really is not showing anything nice. I would hope that we'd see where we turn positive here for one candle and it did nothing. So with all of Disney's problems right now, we could still be looking at staying down there and beat down to nothing. I mean, there's no problem at all. It would not be out of the ordinary if we didn't come down to 121. And then we have these areas right here. 115. And then it'll start getting dicey if we go much further than that. I don't see it coming back down to 79. I think, like, worst case scenario, bleed out, got to get in $97. But now anything below 111, you better just jump on it. That's all it is to it. You better just grab it up. It's coming back around. Google's got their split. That's a lot of stuff too going on. You got splits happening. But Google started building more negative momentum on the weekly. Just not pumped about it. We are getting higher lows, which is good, but that's all going to get thrown off when they do the split. Little gap down right here. Maybe we can catch it again tomorrow and start turning the corner, but I'd wait to see what it's going to do to. If you're already holding the stuff from way down there in Nowheresville from the COVID crash, then none of this applies to you. You're holding for long term. You don't care. You're just letting it stair step its way to your retirement. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, stock wise, they all look the same. Just like if you analyze one crypto, you've analyzed them all. I mean, Dogecoin was leading the pack for several days against Bitcoin not moving. Of course, it took back all of its gains. Low liquidity. And today's candles, it's showing we're up 5%, 6%. That's because they dumped 12% 2 hours ago, and the new daily candles have opened up. But I mean, it all just kicked the rug right out from under me. And that's all you can do is just take it day by day right here. Like Luna. Luna was showing higher highs, higher lows. Actually, right here at its previous highs, it consolidated on top, ran again, but stalled. That's what doesn't make sense. Like the buyers ran out of gas. That's a lot of manipulation going on right there. So Luna showed everything we wanted to see, and I said it. It was one of my trade setups, and several of y'all took advantage of it. When I alerted everybody, several of y'all questioned it. Well, what makes you think that? And I showed them. We have this little flag at the time on a smaller time scale. That's what's forming on top of these previous highs. We got a beautiful rip, but then that was it. That's all she can muster. And now we're losing that positive momentum. It could have some nasty room to fall. Cream. I have to get rid of all this for y'all. Cream had a couple nice little pops, but then has died. Ethereum Classic. Whatever it's thinking about got going on here. We might see, let's see, on the weekly, ran up at that. We just couldn't keep support at any of these fib levels. We're trying to hang on to that 0.5 right now, but if we go back down and hit this 618, that's when I'd be looking to probably enter again. Between the 618 and the 718, I'd be looking for a bounce, and I might would want to enter. And by that time, hopefully we've built out the momentum. If we go down and make another 88% retrace, it's probably going to get real bad. It's probably going to get way worse because Ethereum Classic it's not Bitcoin. It's not the quality that you're looking for. I mean, look at Doge though. Maybe let's look at Doge in a different light. Maybe I've got my lines drawn wrong. Yeah, I did hear he turned down a seat at the board on Twitter. That was pretty awesome, actually. I thought that was pretty wicked. You're going to buy up a big chunk of the company and be like, oh, no, I don't want to be on your board because you're garbage. That made a statement. I like that. But, Doge has been riding this trend line and getting support, and we've been bouncing around in this flag. But the fact we got this, I want to say, a partial rise, and it was at that area of inflection, so I can understand it. But I'm wondering, are we looking at this wrong? Is there a supply line we're missing somehow that's giving us? I don't even know if you could do it like that. I don't think you could. Almost like a breakout. I think we had it right. Did never make it to the top of the flag, so luckily, we're still building positive momentum. Doge just is hanging in there. It's hanging in there better than anybody right now. Don't discount it. So, all right. I mean, that's it. If we've done one crypto, we've done them all. Some are holding up better than others. Some are taking a massive dump worse than others. It's all part of it. Let's see. Futures should be open now. Let's see what we got going on tomorrow. As of right now, it looks like crap, and crap. No, they're basically flat right now. It's too early in the night to tell, but all right, guys. I appreciate everybody that came by. Thank y'all. Have a good evening. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tick the little bell, follow me for updates, and join Discord, Crypto Whiskey, and you will not regret it. We're almost to our 100 people that cuts off our discount for the lifetime membership. So that, I imagine, by tonight or tomorrow will be gone. We've had extra 3 or 4 more people come in today. So if you're on the fence about it, do your thing. Hit me up. But y'all